welcome to the podcast. Debra, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So Debra, tell us about yourself. What do you do?
I am a tax preparer, tax resolutionist, bookkeeper, psychiatrist.
Without going to school, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do. Working.
Okay, so let's make it a little more fancy here. So you're a tax professional who helps people solve some really big problems, right?
Absolutely.
So how long you been doing this?
This time around, 3 years. Actually, several years ago, I did tax preparation for 5 years. So then I just got back into it 3 years ago.
What made you well, first off, what made you come back, and then what made you leave?
Well, I came back because I was trying to decide what it was that I wanted to do. I got into tax preparation because I like numbers. I think anybody that gets in tax preparation likes numbers. And once again, I got into tax preparation because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So when I was working part-time as a tax professional, I was also in management with the business. And at the same time, as I was doing both, I ended up getting promoted and promoted and promoted. So I was actually in operations. So I had to leave the tax world because I got so involved in the operations of the business that's what I was doing. And
so what was the name of the business?
Lowe's.
Okay.
So I ended up being a assistant store manager in the operations. So I ran the front of the store and the back of the store, which meant anything, money wise. So it was the daily operations of the store. So their books, making sure that all the money was accounted for, and then the freight, the inventory that came into the store. So it was the front end and the back end, so that I had to, keep up with, and a little HR work in there as well, payroll, that kind of stuff. And so the business aspect of it, I loved because I could chase down that money. So if we come up short, I could find it. And I would actually go to different Lowe's and reconcile their daily businesses because I could find the money. And something that like it would actually look like it was short, and I knew it wasn't. And I could trace it, and I could trace it, and I could trace it, and I could fix those businesses, and I could find it. So I loved doing that. The thrill of the hunt. Then I ended up stepping down because my daughter had a baby, and I wanted to help her with my granddaughter. So I stepped down to a 7 to 4 job, Monday through Friday, and just sat in this little office, this little cubicle. And then what I did is I did returns. So I would fight with the vendor to get our money back. And I had, once she got older, I remember telling somebody I had what was called a failure to thrive. I wasn't thriving. The only time I came alive is when another operations manager would call me and they needed help. So I figured out. So it's like, okay, I've got to do something else. And so I went back, thought, well, let me just get back into taxes for right now. So I went back into taxes, and I did that. And then I took a store manager position with Dollar General.
Oh, wow. Okay. Dollar General's a good company.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I had a fun time working at Dollar General. But then the owner of Liberty reached out to me, and then we asked me if I was coming back, and I said no. And then she told me she was looking for a general manager to oversee her too. And so that's how I got back into Liberty Tax.
Okay. So now today you run 2 Liberty Tax locations?
Yes.
Awesome. And how many customers do you guys serve?
At each location, almost approximately 500 in each location.
Oh, good. So 1,000 customers, man. And
Mhm.
so do you like getting into this business now, being in the tax industry full-time, general manager? I mean, what are some of the things that you do on a daily basis that you keep you busy? Like what should people be focusing on right now? What are you doing?
Well, right now, I still have clients coming in to finish their tax returns because they haven't had time to do them. Mainly, I have clients coming in because they've done tax returns on their own, and now they need to be amended, or they've gotten a letter from the IRS and they don't know what to do with it. So it's either, helping them fix their tax return, or just if they owe. So a lot of them too, they end up owing. It's basically just going over to see what they did wrong on their tax return. So
Good.
been doing right now is
Well,
I'm still doing tax returns.
that's good. And so in the preparation for the upcoming season, well, I mean, we're not done. I mean, we still have till October 15th. We still have some business returns. We have things going on. But now that we're kind of through the second half of the year, I mean, what kind of advice would you give to somebody, like, as in the preparation process? Like, what should you be doing right now, thinking about next tax season?
Oh, I've already started trying to let them know you need to go back in and double check your W-4s. Make sure your, withholdings are correct. We've had a lot of issues with that, especially at one of our other locations. We've had a couple like factories that their withholdings aren't correct. It seems like ever since 2019, the payroll taxes went down, so there's not enough withholdings going out. So I'm getting with the clients, going back through and saying, hey, make sure you're having your W-4s, go back, have those checked, make sure everything, looks good. If you don't know how to check it, come in the office, let's go back through it. So that's one of the main things I've been, preaching to my clients is check those W-4s, and then reminding them that they're not getting that extra refundable child tax credit this year. So things are going to be different. So
yeah, refunds are going to definitely look different. People are going to have a different expectation. Well, that's good.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just reminding them of those things.
Well, that's good. So you're being proactive with your clients. What about for your team? What are you working on with your team right now?
We are, and actually I have a class tonight. So we are just going back over tax returns, but studying. So we are, so we're just going over returns. So we are learning more intricate returns. So like right now, I sent them home, like last week with packets. And so they're working on their packets. And then tonight we're getting together and we're going back over them. So it's to be more comfortable with how to do a Schedule E, a Schedule C, how to do a rental, return, a vacation return. We're going to get into partnerships, 1120S's, just things like that they're not comfortable with. We have been practicing this summer, just doing different returns, and then just, touching base over just things that they've had maybe questions about, like depreciation. So we've just been practicing and learning all summer long.
Well, that's really good because, most of the time we find that I see tax business owners who are out there, they're not really thinking about next season until November, December. And so that's when they do most of their training and most of their coaching. Being proactive like this, I mean, I'm sure this is going to have a huge impact on your tax professionals for the upcoming season, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we want. We want to, raise the bar. So, and I don't want them to have the deer in the headlight look. I want them to be a professional. So, because we screen our clients, because I want the client to be matched with the correct preparer. So, and I want them to be able to handle that tax return. So, and the only way you're going to be able to handle a new client or a business client is you have to know how to do that business return. And the only way you're going to know how to do a business return is you have to study. So
that's exactly right. I think business returns, I don't think they're as complicated as people make them out to be, but at the same time, there's a lot of responsibility there, right? The highest audit probability is going to be on expenses related to business returns. So, I mean, we got to be accurate and be precise. Now, how do you, your training styles, like if somebody what do you see most effective? Are you actually making them read? Or are you just showing them examples only? Are they getting on software? What do you recommend?
They are reading. So, I give them the packets, they read, then we go back over it. So, and we meet, by Zoom. So we all get together. So we're having like our conference call tonight. We go over the course material. So any questions we have then, and, so I, have my screen there. And so we go over the course material, and then, we'll do a case study. So now I'll have a case study there, and we'll go through that. And so that's where we were. And then now where we're at tonight is they have a sample client. So now each one has a sample client, and now they're doing a practice return. And we'll get together tonight, and then we're all going to see what's the result. It's the same client, but what result did you get? So if there's an error in there somewhere, now we're going to find the error, and then we're going to go through it step by step and help that particular tax preparer understand why it was calculated this way, or why it should have been done this way. And then we're all going to go through it together, and we're all going to learn it together. So that's how we've been doing it.
Well, that's interesting, because I think that a lot of what you're doing is being very resourceful, because a lot of the content you're teaching, you're doing it through Zoom. So you don't actually have to go to a physical location, which means they could do it from the comfort of their own home, or their own home office, or whatever it is. That's really cool. Like I don't see a lot of people doing that right now. I think a lot of it still traditionally is thinking in person. So you're being unique in moving into a virtual kind of platform. Do you find that you're having high attendance in that, like everybody's showing up?
Absolutely. And I was surprised. I was really surprised.
I am too.
It wasn't mandatory. I just said, hey, I have this going on, and they show up, they pick up their packets, they show up for class, they're engaged. So I was really surprised. I'm really proud of them. I really am.
I mean, pretty honest, man. I've had virtual classes over the years, and we don't have great attendance. I guess maybe you're just a good instructor.
Doubt that.
That's got to be it. They're showing up for somebody. That's you.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do a little something for them when we, start getting into tax school, and just to show them my appreciation and, hard work. There was no carrot dangled in front of them. So I'm going to show them that there's a reward, just for doing it. And, they have this drive, they have this passion now, that they want to do more than just a W-2. And they see that there's more to a tax return than just a W-2. And the importance of, taking care of that client. And when a client has a question, you want to be that tax professional, and you want to have the answer, and not just yell or call or, Miss Deb, Miss Deb. They actually want to be the one to, be that person.
Heck yeah. you're really showing some leadership skills right now, and really sharing with your team at a high level what they need to be focused on. So you've got sounds like you're building a great team. You got a great business, doing 1,000 tax returns, 1,000 customers. You've got them. You're starting to prepare them, or thinking about prepare them for next tax season. So kind of tell our audience some tips that maybe you could think of right now, things that you're not doing but you wish you did more of, or things that you really think that you need to focus more on to make your business more successful. Are you doing it all? You're already doing it all. I'm sorry.
No, to make it more, successful in terms of, client
Revenue, clients, whatever that is for you. What is success defined to you? Is it more clients? Is it more money?
I think, well, number one is to get the right tax professional in there. I think we failed our clients in that aspect. But it's to get the right tax professional in there, and then just to service our clients. They speak on the cost of the tax preparation, but I think if we give them the value, and the value is the time that we spend in learning the tax code and the tax laws and what goes into preparing this tax return, and that if something happens with that particular tax return, we know how to deal with it. We're the ones that they're going to come to. We can, take care of it. We're the ones that they're going to rely on. Then there's value there, but we have to give them value. And I think that's going to enhance, the office, the business, just by giving them more value. I don't know. I've only been with this office for 3 years, and there's so much potential, but I feel like, we're scratching the surface. So I'm having to start, not really over, but start at the beginning. And the beginning is with the tax preparers, and then getting them to rise above, or rising to the occasion. And then once I'm there, then we'll take it to the next level.
That's a good approach. So basically you're saying you want to have the right person for the right, like matching them up, right? What you're saying is you want to
absolutely. Yeah.
That's a good approach. I think you could charge more if you did that. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that the goal would be to charge more, I hope.
Right. And so that way, when the client comes back in, they're not disappointed, or they're not saying, I don't think she understood my needs, or I don't think, she understood, what she was doing, or, that they lose confidence, not only in that tax professional, but in my business. And that's it right there. I don't want them to lose confidence in the person that is doing their tax return.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that most of not most, I would say there's a good percentage of tax businesses out there, when they hire people, they don't give them the confidence by giving them adequate training. I mean, maybe they give them generalized training. You're saying you're trying to get really specific, which right. I don't think a lot of people get specific training. And so when they get a new return, they're not as confident. I mean, they may be able to, or capable to be able to do the return, but they're just not excited about it because they don't feel like it's something they're really great at. And so I see a lot of people lose business because they get a taxpayer comes in, says, I want you to file this return. And their tax professional, even though they are a professional, they're just not so confident, and the taxpayer can feel it. They can feel that Absolutely. Lack of confidence.
Absolutely.
So then they're like, well, maybe I'll think about it, or I'm just going to leave this stuff with you and I'll be back. And they never come back. Right. Like that's
right.
That happens a lot. And I know why. It's because we don't give a lot of specialized knowledge. So are you trying to, just my thoughts, are you trying to create like everybody knows everything? Or are you trying to get people in your offices to specialize in different things?
Specialize.
Okay.
And that's where we're going. So I want And I want them to figure out what it is that they want. Do you want to specialize in just real estate? Do you want to just specialize, just in the daycares? What is it that you want to do? And this is where we're going to focus on with you. And that's where we're going. And we can see in both locations what our clientele is. So, and this is where we're going to go with each different office. So, one office is we have a lot of real estate clients. And so that's where the office really needs to focus. And then the other office is daycares and contractors. So that's where that one needs to go. And so that's where our focus is going to go. And we're going to build it from there and then, branch out from that. But that's where our focus is going to be.
This is what you're doing, by the way. I think if anybody's watching today and they're thinking, well, man, what should I be focusing on? I mean, what you're doing is truly smart right now. Like maybe you have business, but you're kind of slow. So you're like, let's just make sure we're ready for when we get busy. I think this is great. Now, I guess kind of ending here, kind of tell us, how do you plan on getting new customers this coming year? Or even right now, how are you getting new business?
Asking for referrals. So like the clients that are coming in. So like I have clients that will call because they can't get in touch with the other tax office that did their return. So they'll call and ask for my help, and absolutely, I'm going to help you. So once I help them, I'm going to get them to come back to me next year. But then I ask them for referrals. Hey, if you're happy with what I've done for you, here's my card. I try not to give my card. I give tax professional. I give my tax preparers cards to them, and I say, please, if you know anybody else that needs help, here's some cards to pass out, please. Away. And I'm starting to post on Facebook, but whenever I go through the drive-through, like at McDonald's, because I love McDonald's coffee, they have two windows. So you go through the one window to pay. Here's my card. Hey, thanks, you're great. You're ever looking for something else to do? Here's my card. Go through the second window. Give them a card. So there's two windows, two cards right there. So that's how I leave them if I want a referral or if I'm trying to hire, for tax school, whatever it is, there's my card. If I go to inside Target, if I go in, use the restroom, wash my hands right there on the sink and just leave a card,
Well, so you're using what we call traditional guerrilla marketing, right? Like you're going guerrilla marketing out there. You're saying, okay, absolutely. I want to get referrals. And by the way, I think a handshake goes a long way today, and getting in, and that's a really good way to get new business. And so anything new you're going to try this year besides just going referral guerrilla marketing?
No, I'm going to listen to you and, whatever else comes my, way that I can think to do. I'm going to talk to the colleges, to see, as far as tax preparers, but as far as referrals, just make sure my preparers are asking for referrals whenever I'm out and about. I talk to everybody that I see if I'm in line. We have a lot of festivals around here. So I always pass cards out when I go to festivals. So, and then I just keep searching for new ways to, get referrals.
I believe, the power of the referral. I mean, I get referrals all the time, but from people who say, hey, David's the best at this. In fact, I have clients that call me all the time. Hey, I got somebody new for you. And it's been such a beautiful thing. I think if you do the right thing, you help the people that, you need to help because they definitely value you and you value them. I think that's how you grow a business pretty organically. So, well, that's good, Debra, man. Good job. You sounds like you're ready for tax season. You're ready to take on the world.
Trying. Hope so. Going to.
I know you are. So any last remarks you want to make to the audience before we go today?
No, this, if you need a great tax professional in North Carolina or remotely, yeah, we're here.
There you go. Remotely. Okay. So how can somebody get a hold of you?
They can,
What's the phone number they can call to talk to Debra?
252-636-2984.
All right, Debra. We'll put a link to that in our description of our live our event. And I'm super grateful to have you as a guest today, and I'm very
Oh, I
thankful.
appreciate it.
If there's anybody out there who's in need of some help, you can definitely reach out to Debra. She is an amazing, amazing tax professional, but also she's a very she got a beautiful heart. I can tell that. And guys, if you need help, she's going to help you. And I like to always tell people that when you meet somebody who's got, you know, the knowledge, the skills, and of course the caring like you do, they got to work with you. So anybody out there virtually or anything, please click on the link below and work with her. So all right, Debra, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You have a good afternoon.